my dear viewers, hello and welcome to a new episode of Upper Cultural Magazine, during which we're going to bring you the latest cultural events that are taking place in Egypt, so stay tuned.
Minister of Culture Dr. Ines Abdidaim said that the late pioneering poet Salah Abd Sabur had a special philosophy in his creative works. She pointed out that the celebratory commemoration of Abd Sabur came within the framework of the ministry's keenness to preserve the memory of Egypt's creators. The minister added that this would not be held in one celebration only, but rather through several activities. Abdidaim, during her speech at the Salah Abd Sabur Night of the Word conference organized by the Supreme Council of Culture on the occasion of his 40th passing anniversary, announced the launch of the Salah Abd Sabur theatrical poetry competition organized by the Cultural Production Affairs sector. The winning theatrical poem is to be produced and staged at one of the state's theaters. Furthermore, the minister added that it is also scheduled to broadcast a number of his poems in different languages. The General Egyptian Book Organization announced reducing prices of Abd Sabur's works, in addition to holding a number of cultural and intellectual seminars on this occasion. The Minister of Culture and the Governor of Ismailia inaugurate the activities of the 21st Ismailia International Folk Festival. The International Festival of Folk Arts, organized by the General Authority for Cultural Palaces, headed by Director Hisham Atwa, in cooperation with the Cultural Foreign Relations sector at the Open Theater, is held at the Ismailia Cultural Palace. The minister said that the Ismailia International Folklore Festival is a global event that conducts an artistic dialogue among us different people based on the local human heritage. She added that the events bring together examples of diverse cultures that reflect the values of many societies, noting that folk arts are a means of preserving identity and a bridge for approachment between countries. For his part, Director of the General Authority for Cultural Palaces said that the events this year are attended by 8 international Arab and foreign teams from Jordan, Congo, Azerbaijan, Palestine, Sudan, Mexico, Indonesia, and Nepal. This comes in addition to 9 local teams representing more than 8 Egyptian governorates, namely Ismailia, Luxor, Sharqiya, Arish, Aswan, Asyut, Sohag, Matruh, and he added that the performances are held on 7 theaters inside and outside the city of Ismailia. The opening ceremony also displayed 2 exhibitions, one for books and the other is for plastic arts. It is noteworthy that the closing ceremony includes honoring the participating international teams and a number of symbols of Egyptian folklore. Under the auspices of the Minister of Culture, Dr. Ines Abdidaim, and within the framework of the role of the General Authority for Cultural Palaces, headed by Director Hisham Atwa, various plastic artists are working to develop the artistic movement in Egypt. This group of artists attempted to highlight the domestic lives of people of different parts of the country. In doing so, they came out with unique and authentic artistic experiences that express the latent warm spirit by coexisting with the people of the environment of these diverse regions in Egypt. The General Administration of Plastic Arts and Environmental Crafts in the Central Administration for Artistic Affairs, headed by Ahmed Shafei, in cooperation with the Greater Cairo region, headed by artist Galel Osman, and the Fayoum Cultural Branch, chose the artistic environment of the town of Tunis and its surroundings in Fayoum Governorate to establish the Tunis Festival for Painting and Drawing, which was held recently for the first time. Once the context of activating remote places, 13 plastic artists participated in it, namely Mahmoud Al-Maghrabi, Commissioner of the Forum, Amal Nasr, Fatima Abdurrahman, as well as many others.
The Cairo Opera House plays a significant role in the cultural movement that is taking place in Egypt.
Within the framework of the Korean Culture Week activities launched by the Korean Culture Center in Cairo, the Cairo Opera House Small Theater hosted the K-pop competition titled Let's K-pop in Cairo, with the participation of 10 groups in the singing and dancing categories, where this meaningful cultural event is aiming to contribute well in strengthening cultural understanding between Egypt and South Korea.
This is an amazing experience for me. I came to realize that I'm the happiest ambassador in the world. You know, it's an honor to be based here in this great and beautiful country full of cultural heritages and natural beauties. But again, I was amazed to see this kind of wonderful group of youngsters who are captivated with the Korean culture. That means something very special for me as the Korean ambassador to Egypt. I'm the happiest ambassador in the world. It's a great honor to hear that, and I can feel that. I heard from my colleagues at the Korean Cultural Center that we have more than 80 groups of composed of K-pop fans, and their numbers exceed more than 200,000 people, and which is growing more and more. So it's a great honor to hear that more and more Egyptians come to like Korean culture, and vice versa. Back in Korea, we have a lot of Korean fans who are captivated with Egyptian beauty and Egyptian cultural heritage. This is good for our bilateral relations, people-to-people exchange, people-to-people understanding. That's the sustainable basis of our future bilateral relations. Touching the hearts of Egyptian people is most important to Korean diplomacy. We do want to be a good friends to Egypt. That is why we want to come closer and closer to the hearts of the Egyptian people. And culture, songs, dance should be the most important method or tool for us to do that. So I was amazed and impressed by the fever from the audience who likes Korean culture. So I think we are succeeding. So we are going to host this kind of cultural events more often. not only for you, but also for us. So it's very good for our future bilateral relations. Culture is the what I call way of life, and without understanding culture, I don't think we can understand other people. So understanding culture is the starting point of understanding other people. That is why I want to join as many cultural events here in Egypt as possible. So I'm going to enjoy more chances to take part in this kind of cultural events here as long as I stay here in Egypt. Regardless of the pandemic, I think, well, we are winning the pandemic thanks to the power of art, power of movie, power of drama, power of songs. So human beings, we can defeat pandemic by way of sharing our own culture. And Korean movie is the only one evidence that we can win over such kind of pandemics. So thank you very much, Egyptian people, for enjoying Korean movies and Korean songs. I'd like to ask you to continue to like the Korean culture. And back in Korea, please be advised that there is a bunch of Korean people who likes Egyptian culture, who likes to come to this great country to see the beauty of nature and the beauty of the cultural heritage.
One of the feelings that I had today was I was really touched. And the Korean language is definitely not one of the widely spoken languages in the world. But today everyone was actually singing along with the songs and everyone is chanting. I felt like we were truly connected and we were united. It was truly amazing feeling. Every time that I hear this phenomenon here is like truly amazing. It's not only about K-pop nowadays. With the recent success of Squid Game and some other K-dramas, like we are realizing so many Korean popular cultural products are getting more recognition and popularity, and we are feeling so thrilled about it. It's actually interesting to live here in Egypt as a Korean because everywhere I go, like if people ask me questions about some like a popular Korean culture products or like a K-pop or K-drama they have recently watched. So I can always talk about my culture, like when I'm actually living in this country. So this is actually very interesting for me. Actually like to reach out to more people in Egypt. Like for example, we are doing this project called Korean Culture Caravan. We are actually going to visit like different cities in Egypt, and not only in Cairo. Like for example, last month we actually went to Port Said and we held this Korean Culture Day. And from now on, we are actually trying to visit all these different cities in Egypt, and we are having this Korean Culture Day so that we can reach out to different people, not only in Cairo.
Korean Culture Central page on the Facebook, and I have been singing with them since 2016. But during the Corona, they stopped. So when I heard they are just making the contest, so I applied and I was accepted and I won. I love vocal group. I love EXO. I love BTS. I love Taeyeon, the one who I just sang the song. All of them. They are all amazing. I would like not to sing here in Egypt. I would like to travel to Korea and to sing yani, as the first Egyptian singer there.
My friend just sent me a link. I didn't have any connections with anything about the competition. I had no idea about it. But my friend sent me a link and I got to join that. I tried to play on the elements of surprise. I played the ukulele and then the music cuts in and I became sort of this like diva, like a transformation. And then I was singing while dancing and then I just did a dance at the end. I won the second prize after Christina. She won for the vocal. Well, I did vocal and dance. So yeah, it's my first time competing in this competition, but yeah. Yeah, I've been studying Korean for 2 years, but whenever I have free time, I try to study more and try to get more familiar with the culture and the language. It's really interesting.
With a wide Korean pop music fan base in the land of the pharaohs, Egypt is officially the fastest growing country in the world in terms of K-pop music streaming rates, where this phenomena is creating a state of curiosity to know more about this influential culture. Shuruk Bikir, Cultural Magazine.
The camera of our program is always going after the cultural events that are taking place in Egypt, so stay tuned.
Minister of Culture Dr. Ines Abdidaim and Russian Deputy Minister of Culture Olga Yarylova recently launched the Egyptian-Russian Year of Humanitarian Exchange 2021-2022 at the Cairo Opera House. Abdidaim said the ministry has prepared an agenda that includes 23 events in 2021, starting from Egypt and ending with Moscow in May 2022. In addition to choosing Russia as the guest of honor for the Ismailia International Festival for documentary and short films. These events continue through seminars, book fairs, plastic arts, and heritage crafts, and the impact of Russian literature on Egyptian culture, with an exchange of artistic teams between the two countries, in addition to issuing a group of translators from Russian into Arabic and vice versa. The Russian Deputy Minister of Culture, Yarylova, said that this year will be supportive of mutual relations between the two countries.